Good morning. You are listening to Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Segal Network. Our show is sponsored by Natural and Kosher Cheeses, when quality and flavor matter. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Naomi Nachman. I'm about all the food all the time. I love food. I love to shop for it, cook it, eat at restaurants, anything food related. I'm a kosher personal chef. My business is called the Aussie Gourmet. I give cooking classes. I run chop competitions. I cater for people for Shabbat, Yom Tov, Pesach. I know that's coming up really soon. Anytime you don't feel like cooking, you can give me a call, and I hope you'll tune in each week to hear about my exciting cooking adventures, my kosher food traveling, and amazing guests. But I want to hear about your food experiences too. So shoot me an email, naomi@nachumsegal.com. You can join my fan page on Facebook called The Aussie Gourmet. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook. So, let's make this a great conversation. I've got an amazing show today lined up for everybody. It's been a while. I hope everybody caught last week's show. I actually recorded it in Machane Yehuda about a month ago, and we aired it last week. It was such a fun experience. Actually, my children were I have older children, and my oldest daughter was the producer. Miriam Wallach trained her, and Jamie Tukel trained her to show her what to do, and she was amazing, helping me put together with Joel Haber the best tour guide Israel has to offer with food in Yerushalayim. So make sure you catch that show on our Nachum Segal Net channel on YouTube, or you can listen to it on the archives anytime on nachumsegal.com. So while I was in Israel, I had the honor of being Foodie of the Week. I forgot to mention that last week, so I just wanted to share that. I was really excited by the Ilan Kornblum's Great Kosher Restaurant Foodie Group, and I was actually thrilled. I know in the studio I have Shlomo and Shifra Klein. Shlomo's also had that honor of being Foodie of the Week, so I was pretty excited about it as I ate and posted my way through Israel. While I was in Israel, I met up with David Ehrlich. He was on my show about 2 weeks ago. He's of Gilly's Goodies. So I just want to make sure that everybody hears again the incredible stuff that he does. Actually sent my daughter a gift basket last week, which was gluten-free because she's gluten-free in Israel. And I sent her a gift basket for just Shabbat because. So if you have family or friends in Israel and you miss them, or you want to send them some love, you want to do something special for Purim, make sure you send them a fresh baked basket of Gilly's Goodies. Cakes, hamantash, and lots of nash. They can customize it all for you. Gilly's also sends them to soldiers in Israel, which I think is such a lovely thing. You send a gift basket to your loved ones, and you can also send someone in the IDF a gift basket too. So they send the Chaylim all over the country. So to order, just go to gillysgoodies.com and use our special discount code, which thank you so much, David Ehrlich, for doing that for our listeners. Get 10% off. And the code is, of course, Table for Two. And that's Table and number 4 and number 2. So that's make sure you do that before Shabbat and send someone for next week, or Purim is coming up. So I've got an incredible lineup on the air right now, on the phone, all the way from the Windy City. I have executive chef, Brian Greiker from Milt's Barbecue for the Perplexed. Welcome, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? How's the weather over there? Is it Windy City?
It's pretty chilly, although I hear rumors it's supposed to be up to 55, 60 degrees in a couple of days. So
that is very good, because I just want to tell everybody I am going to Chicago to run a chop competition at Milt's. So if you're in Chicago this Monday night, right? It's this Monday night.
Monday night.
Make a reservation. Brian, what time is it going to be? 8?
8 o'clock.
Okay, so make sure everyone comes down and watches. If you want to participate, call up Brian at Milt's, and he'll let you know what's going on and when you should show up if you want to be one of the chefs who cook. But we're also going to have some New York chefs as well cooking. So now we can, we've passed our little shout out to our show that we're coming down for. Brian, how long have you been at Milt's for? Since the beginning?
Yeah, I was hired a few months before we opened, and we just celebrated our 3rd anniversary last month.
That's amazing. And you guys also have a food truck, right?
We do.
That's cool. Is it very busy? like in the winter?
Yeah. Well, so during the summer and during the season, we go out in the Chicago area. We have spots to go downtown. We do a lot of different events. And then during the winter, we keep the truck busy. It's not going out every day, but we have done events in like St. Louis, Minnesota, and Michigan. And the truck was actually just in Orlando for 3 weeks.
Right.
And got back. Yeah, just got back.
Chef Isaac Laserson ran that for you down in Orlando.
He did, and he did a wonderful job with it too.
He's great. So Milt has got a little bit of a different MO, right? With how they run their business, right? It's not all for profit.
Correct. Yeah, well, it's not a not for profit per se, but we do give all the proceeds after our expenses, of course, all the money, and then some goes to different charities each month. The owner he has set up a foundation, so he raises money on top of what the restaurant makes. So there's a lot of money going around, which I think is phenomenal, and I'm hugely proud of being a part of it.
Yeah, it's such a phenomenal idea and such a beautiful chesed that he does.
No, and it's legit. Like he's very serious about wanting to give money, and so on my end, and we have a general manager also. Like our pressure is to make money so he can give more money. It's not even about like trying to line his pockets or anything like that. So it's a little added pressure on my side where I really feel like every penny, it's like this is going to something good.
Oh, that is so gorgeous. I love that. Now, let's talk about, for people who have not been to Milt's, including myself. I mean, we're friends, so I already know your style of food. But talk us about what kind of food. What do you mean barbecue for the perplexed? What does that mean? Such an interesting name.
Well, the name itself is I assume most people know, it's a play off of Maimonides' book, Guide for the Perplexed.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so they did a crowdsourcing thing before we opened, trying to get different names, and there was a lot of different ideas, and this is the one that won.
Oh, I love it. It's very clever.
Yeah, I think it's cute. I had nothing to do with it. That was before my time.
Okay, and what you serve barbecue food? Is it smoked? Is it?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I can go into details about what barbecue is, but shortly, a lot of people confuse barbecue with grilling. They're two completely different ideas and theologies and whatever you want to call it. But barbecue is almost always involving smoke and low temperature cooking. So, you'll never see me crank up the smoker to 300 degrees or anything like that.
And you smoke in the store? Like there's a whole smokehouse? Like Ari White's got this big train he pulls.
Well, we have a 1,000-pound smoker that's vented outside. It's got a big hood, just like our grill and everything does, so that doesn't fill up the room with smoke. Once in a while, it did happen one time where it did get clogged. We had issues with the hood, and so it did start smoking up the kitchen.
Oh, God. That's cool.
But thank God we fixed that pretty quickly.
So it's barbecue style, like smoked meats, pulled brisket sandwiches, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, barbecue, it's very regional. It's in southern United States. It's, you have a lot of different ideas. I'm from Arkansas, from the south, and Arkansas itself isn't really known as a hotbed for barbecue, but all the surrounding areas are. So you've got, like, you got Texas, Tennessee, Carolinas. All these different areas are very well known for their own particular brand of barbecue, and so you'll have a million different ideas of what barbecue is supposed to be.
Oh, that is great. That's great. I'd love to try all the different, like someone point out to me, because this is this style, like, and try it, because we never get to do that, especially here, kosher in New York.
Right. So one of my favorite barbecue sauce is actually one we don't sell at the restaurant. It's an Alabama barbecue, which is actually mayonnaise based. It's phenomenal, but it doesn't last that long. You can only hold it for like 45 minutes or so. So I've done it for specials. It's not something I choose to do on the regular basis. So.
What type of food does it go with? Is it for ribs and chicken, or it's
I like it particularly on chicken. I really like, it's almost like a creamy slaw dressing in a sense, but it's warm and it's got a lot of sugar and vinegar in it, and it goes really nicely on a smoked piece of chicken. Okay,
we have to look into that. Shifra Klein is joining me here with Joy of Kosher magazine. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that
sounds interesting.
That sounds good. We have to talk more about that. I see an article coming up. Shifra's flagging this conversation.
Well, I definitely want the recipe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you can always Google it. There's plenty of different sources out there for stuff like that. I mean, I can go on a little segue here, but, people get so stuck on recipes. They ask me all the time, well, how do you do this? How do you do this? I'm like, do it the way you want to do it. If you think that's too much sugar, take a little out. People get so hung up on doing things exactly how they think they're supposed to do it and are afraid to go out of the box and do their thing, you know. So
I think it's great. I call it finding your inner chef. When you take a recipe and you kind of just go with what you like, you know, and making the adjustments. You know, you are the chef of that recipe when you are making it. We can't have Brian on the phone and not talk about the amazing pop-up that you blew away New York City with. And I have to say, you got so lucky with the weather that day, back in February 4th, I think.
The week before. Like, it's going to snow. I mean, it's going to be a disaster. I'm going to be out all this money.
Right, and even if it rained or was freezing cold and not raining, it was amazing. Like, you could not have asked, thank you, God, for that great weather.
Oh, it was spectacular. I couldn't have asked for anything. You know, I was blown away by the reception. You know, it's still hard to even comprehend it, you know, a week later.
Yeah, Brian did a pop-up at Milt's. Milt's.
Pitopia.
Sorry, Brian from Milt's did a pop-up at Pitopia. There you go. I got it out. Last about 2 weeks ago. How many portions did you sell? How many servings were there?
We did, I think, 1,200, 1,300 maybe.
Amazing, 1,300. That's crazy amazing. Okay, and the people that came out really just went nuts over it. Yeah,
no, it was, you know, right as we opened, there was a line out the door.
Yeah.
And it got it's so many pre-orders, which we decided to do, you know, where people could pre-order, you know, a day ahead of time. And we had so many of them in the evening that I had to actually shut down service for a couple hours during the afternoon just to make sure I had enough to fulfill all those orders, because, you know, that could have been a disaster, you know.
Right.
By 7 o'clock, and all these people that paid already don't have any dinner, which obviously you didn't want that.
Yeah, no, that was like some. I hope that you do that again, because that was some great experience, and it's nice to like bring pop-ups to different areas. You know, I missed the Katsuji Tanabe one. It was before Pesach, so I could not get away from my Pesach kitchen. But I like to, you know, share it around a little bit. A little East Coast, West Coast mix-up, you know?
Yeah, and it's easier than making a whole new restaurant.
Yeah, that's much cheaper. Thank you so much, Brian. I'm going to see you Monday. I hope everyone in Chicago, or people who want to come to Chicago for the chopped competition at Milt's. You'll eat Milt's food. You'll see me run a chop competition. You can even participate on the chop competition. And as of like 2-3 days ago, Southwest.com had tickets for like $50 each way or $60 each way. So if you're bored this weekend, come join us at Milt's. If you're not in Chicago.
How could you participate?
Yeah, you can just let Brian know. We're going to take up to 3 people to cook and compete.
Oh, nice.
And then there'll be the audience. And, of course, if somebody wants to judge, you can shoot me an email, naomi@nachumsegal.com, and we'll be in touch with you about getting all that. And, yeah, we're really excited. So you can come and eat the incredible food and have a dinner and a show. How about that?
Excellent.
All right.
Well, thank you, Naomi.
Thanks, Brian. We'll talk. We'll talk on Sunday when I get to Chicago.
Okay, great.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.
That was Chef Brian Greiker from Milt's Barbecue for the Perplexed. I have to say it very slowly. I am very excited to be able to go to Chicago to run that chop competition. That's become like one of the biggest parts of my business, is I go all over to run people's chop competitions. It's so fun. Okay, without further ado, we're going to continue our conversation with Shifra Klein. Her husband Shlomi is joining her today. We're very lucky to have both of them. They have just come back from an incredible trip to Israel. They were there the first half of January putting this edition together. I was there the second half. So I got a lot of advice from the Kleins of where to go. They did not disappoint, but you guys have got to get this magazine, and I always say this one is the best one, but this one really is the best one. I don't know how you guys are going to top this one. I don't know.
It is going to be challenging.
It's going to be a challenge because you've really raised the bar a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea of Joy of Kosher is always to share more than just recipes, right? Because you can go on Google and Google any recipe
right,
you want.
Absolutely.
So, that's the goal is always, what can we do that's even more exciting that you can't just get by Googling or just going online. So we were really excited to share. It was a very daunting task to go to Israel and like consolidate like everything into one issue.
Right.
It's crazy.
You could do part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, we definitely, after doing this Israel issue, we definitely will do that. There's so much more to come.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, there really is a lot to come.
Or you could, in each magazine that comes out, you can have an Israel segment.
That's also true.
Was that
I like
was that
this.
helpful?
This is like a mini editorial meeting.
Yeah,
right
there
now.
you go.
Yeah.
I have enough just from this trip alone to fill a book. I mean, everywhere you go, you meet personalities. Everyone has their story. It's just so fascinating. Just
Right.
doesn't stop.
Yeah, it
Who-
doesn't
who,
stop.
Who was the most fascinating chef that you met?
Eli Mizrahi in the Shuk was fascinating. He was a
Yeah.
really great guy.
Which restaurant was he at?
He has Cafe Mizrahi. He's one of the founders, he's on the board of Shuk Machane Yehuda. He was actually the first one to have a cafe, a little restaurant in the Shuk.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
he
even know which one that is.
modernized.
Which one is that one?
He modernized the shuk. Before he came along, the shuk was dwindling.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
I
and it
went
was
to Mahon
really.
Gold. It was not far from there. It was
Yeah.
dead chickens all over the ground.
So
schmutz.
he came in, brought this modern cafe into the shuk, and after him, everything else followed. So he's a great.
The funny thing is now he's
character.
upset about it.
Well,
Really?
He
Yeah.
he
Why?
didn't like
It's too modern.
not too modern per se. He didn't like
The restaurant scene and the bar scene.
the expensive aspect because his whole goal was to make a nice place for locals. So the fact that it's such a tourist attraction means that there's tourist style prices. And the idea of a
Yes.
shuk is that it's cheap.
It's not cheap.
So it's really not cheap. I mean, for an American, it's cheap.
It's cheap.
But
Where was this
yeah.
cafe? Is that roast like roast?
Down one of the small streets.
Down
I
an
wish-
alley.
You know where Basher Cheese is? Like
Yeah, yeah.
right off that alley.
Okay. There are
Yeah.
so many.
We had really good coffee there. The coffee was phenomenal.
But I think coffee in Israel
Oh.
is so much better
Yeah.
than America.
Why? I
Ro-
don't know.
ro-
It's the whole
Roladin.
milk. They
Yeah,
all use whole
that's
milk.
what Shlomi came
Yeah,
to
you think
the
so?
conclusion. It's
'Cause
the
in
milk.
Australia-
No one
the
asks you,
coffee.
do you want blue milk, red milk, skim milk? It's just, you know?
But it didn't have that burnt taste that American coffee has. Because I've had a coffee in Europe and I've had coffee in Australia, which is just as good as the Israeli coffees. The American coffees are much lower. I talk about this a lot, like lower standard,
I mean, maybe Americans like the toasted coffee. I think
toasted, burnt,
The-
whatever.
so. The bitter notes.
The bitter notes.
The
There you go.
bitterness.
She's putting it nicely. The bitter tones.
Yeah, the bitter tones.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I did notice that they only have one kind of milk.
Another really interesting character we met, I'm sure a lot of people have met them before. We went to Tzfat, we met the guy that makes lachuch.
Mazeh.
Lachuch is like a...
It's a Yemenite style
pancake.
savory pancake that is pancake like on one
I
side.
had it on Birthright.
Yeah, and ear bubbles on the other. It's a really cool pancake.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Very awesome texture.
Looks like the owner of the store, we actually didn't see him this time, but he's a Yemenite Jew, and he gives
And you can dress
speeches on Kabbalah and everything while he's making the food.
It's a real tzfat
and
experience.
even
you
his
can get
worker-
dressed up, right?
Yes, he's dressed up.
Yeah, and-
His worker is also a real
But
character.
you can also get dressed up. They had clothing that you can borrow to
Could
take
be.
photos with.
It
Could be.
The food was phenomenal, and like we even got a video of him giving us directions because that was just like something that blew us away. We asked him for directions to a place, and he said something like "go right, right, left, left, right, right," and it's going to be there or something like that. We actually have a video of it that's going to be posted online. People will be able to see it. It was
Oh,
Yeah, they
that's
can. People
hilarious.
could check out Joy of Kosher.
he gave us these directions, and we were like, what? And then we actually followed directions, and it was exactly where he said.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
going from the Lachuch place in Sfat to the Kadosh cheese. Kadosh cheese is also really cool. They age their cheese. It's a family business. They age the cheese in caves. And it's a really cool spot to visit also. I mean, it's just endless. It really is endless.
If you're actually planning a trip to, people now are planning their summer trips now. Like,
Yeah.
just pick up Joy of Kosher and your itinerary's there.
Oh, yeah. Your food itinerary definitely is there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just 7 days. It's actually 8 days of food that you pops, like, it would take you probably 6 weeks to eat. So you're covered. Plus, we also managed to put in, I would say, about 45 recipes as well.
Right.
So it's a food tour plus a bunch of different recipes. So we have like classic recipes. And then we also have really cool modern takes on Israeli food from a lot of chefs that we visited. Yeah.
How was it meeting Maradoni?
Mayor Adoni is...
He's like a rock
yeah.
star.
Yeah, he's a rock star in Israel.
And he knows it.
But you know what?
No, he
Chefs
was-
are all like that. They've all
Yeah.
got their, like, I'm the best.
No, but he was actually really nice, and
Yeah, very
he
nice
spoke
guy.
he spoke very highly of his team. Like he said, his team is what makes it.
Yeah, we found that very, very admirable.
Humbling.
Yeah.
And he has plans to come here eventually.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the
Eventually.
plan is he wanted to get a Michelin star in Israel, which wasn't happening because they just weren't doing Michelin stars in Israel. And he's opening a restaurant in England. His goal is to get a Michelin
In
star
London,
there,
yeah.
in London. And opening in London, he's hoping to get it like a good hechsher, and even bring in stuff from France. He wants to do foie gras. He wants to do all the interesting
cool.
stuff. He'll have a Bet Yosef hechsher.
here's a question. What's a Michelin star? A lot of my listeners or people that are tuning in for the first time or, are not familiar with, you hear that name thrown out all the time. What is a Michelin star?
A Michelin star is what every chef aspires. Most chefs, not every chef. There are some chefs that don't want a Michelin star in principle, but a Michelin star is basically, there's a Michelin guide. It was initially made by the Michelin Tire Company to encourage people to travel. They put up a guide as to what restaurants and things you can find on the road. So take your car out, travel, and it became this guide that people used to figure out which restaurant they would go to. And so they became the newest level of food critics. And so right now, the Michelin guides are published in different countries and different cities. Like New York City has they publish a guide just for New York City or just for London. And in this guide, they give different rankings to the restaurants. And to get, you can get from 1 to 3 star. And even getting 1 star is an incredible honor.
Do we have any kosher restaurants that are Michelin stars?
I don't think so, no.
I've eaten food by Eric Bolyard. So have you guys.
Right.
He's
a chef who received the star.
Yeah. He's incredible. He did a pop-up with Yuda Schloss from Chassid and Hipster. He's incredible. He did a thing in my house and it was amazing.
Yeah, so Adoni has 2 restaurants in the Carlton Hotel in Israel, in Tel Aviv.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Lumina and Blue Sky.
Right. Yeah. I wanted. I had that on my list of stuff you wanted, that you told me that I should go to, and it was only so much I could do. And when I was going with all my kids as well.
Yeah. Also, for sure. So we loved Blue Sky. They both have really cool views. Also, I mean, Israel's amazing everywhere you go.
Right.
But that's more high end. It's high end.
Right.
Too.
I love the high end stuff, but I love the street food.
Israel, you can just
love
street
food.
Yeah.
We want to do an issue on street food.
Street food. Oh, yeah, not without me. I'm coming. I'll carry the bags. Let me carry your bags.
We can do a multi-purpose issue.
Table
you can do
for
a show.
2, Joy of Kosher.
Totally.
ZK, we're going on the road.
Oh, yeah.
Jachnun Bar. Did you go to Jachnun Bar in the Shuk?
No.
Oh, my God.
You see, we miss stuff. It's so
it's
sad.
Yeah, it's impossible.
We couldn't keep our eyes open at the end of the day.
Right, you could.
But then we missed, there's so much. It's incredible.
Right, there's so much you can do. I walked in the little back street there behind the Shuk and Agrippas. One of the pitta guys calls over my 8-year-old and she puts dough on a rock with a stick and he throws it in the oven. It sticks to the side of the wall and I'm videoing it. You can see it on my Instagram feed.
Yeah, authentic way to make lava.
It's amazing. It's just non-stop.
It's non-stop.
Actually, looking, when we were there, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, there was some guy, I think he was like a baker, and he was making he had a little single burner frying pan. He was taking these fresh pizzas, putting in some Israeli cheese
and butter.
A lot of butter.
Mm.
And that grilled cheese sandwich was something that we remembered for years. We went looking up and down every aisle.
Shlomi eats everywhere.
And we looked everywhere, we couldn't find him. We were so disappointed.
It's probably just a guy in a stand. He pulled up a folding chair.
Yeah, that's what it was, and he's not there now. But it was great.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The wineries. I went to the Shiloh winery.
Yeah,
we met with
that was amazing. Amichai's awesome.
We had a lot of weather problems when we were there, so it was hard to get out there. On our last day, we went.
Amichai is a huge foodie himself.
He's amazing.
I know. His greenhouse.
He invited. No, we didn't. We ran out of time, but he invited us to come down on Tu B'Shvat for a dinner.
Oh, wow.
But I had a bar mitzvah that night, so I went to
You
my
missed out.
I know, I'm sure.
He cooked us some really good meats and some...
Yeah, we wrote about it in the magazine.
Right,
we
had
a whole
pomegranate ceviche.
I saw that.
The recipe is in the magazine.
So
I got the Joy of Kosher ahead of time.
Yes.
I said, Shifra and Shlomi, if you guys are coming before the magazine comes out.
It's not out for print yet.
I cannot wait. So I got to see it online. So I was like, so when I saw that, because I'm a big ceviche. I write ceviche everything recipe, so I had never seen that. So that was gorgeous.
It was very cool ceviche. Yeah.
Where else did you eat? What was your favorite?
Many places. We can't say a favorite. I mean, I can't. I don't know about you.
We had a few favorites.
Yeah.
The street food was great.
Street food is never ending. Everything was good.
We really enjoyed Chaba, which you went and tried.
Yeah, I went. We had a great kosher
It's right outside
restaurant.
of Machne.
We've sent so many people there already. They love it.
We had a foodie meetup, freelance group. It was me and my girls and Jody Locke Schechter. I hope I'm getting your name right. Can't look it up now quickly on Facebook. And Yigal and Chaim. And my kids are like, You guys love food too much. My kids thought we were off our nut.
Did you get the famous amber gnocchi?
I had it. I thought it was great. We have amber here. This is the amber.
You
I'm
have to
gonna hold
like
it up to the
amba
camera.
to enjoy
Right,
the
right.
amba
Well, and
gnocchi.
we're going to use this soon in a
Yes.
recipe. I thought that was great. But I had for breakfast, I met Joel Haber there before we did the tour. We met there in the morning, and we did. I had the Madame Croque or Croque Madame.
Oh, okay, that's a
Why
classic
don't
French
we
dish.
have this
Basil
in New
has
York?
that on the breakfast menu.
Okay, well, I haven't been to Bays in a long time. It's really time for a trip. I don't
They have a
even-
version of it.
Right.
a version of it. Yeah, it's all a version of something. It's the inner chef, you know. Okay, so I held up the amber as we, halfway through the show already. It's crazy. It goes
Yeah.
like that. Okay, this is amber. Amber is basically pickled mango. I actually wrote a piece about it, and I'm drawing a blank. I want to say it's a Tunisian. Is it Tunisian? North African? Iraqi? No,
Probably
it's
has
Iraqi.
roots.
It's funny because I'm from South Africa originally, and it's a very traditional food over there. It's not called amba though, but they also preserve mangoes, and it's very common. Unripe mangoes.
Unripe mango. So this is great. It has a
It must have some African roots.
cumin undertone as well. It's absolutely fantastic. I use this a lot. So,
So you could buy it anywhere. We also have a recipe for it in the magazine as well.
to make your own? Oh, I
And
must have
Moni
missed that.
from she wrote. She's like the expert. So this recipe was from her. She contributed it. She has a cookbook called Balbusta.
Oh,
It's a great Israeli cookbook. And she owns actually 2 restaurants in New York City. Balbusta, which isn't kosher, but Ta'im might be kosher. I'm not sure about that.
It is kosher.
yeah.
It has some kind of hechsher.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone should look at their own hechshers. And I'm just
Exactly.
going to say that about Israel.
Yes.
Okay, we mentioned a lot of
yes.
restaurants here. I got busted. Someone told me that I posted a picture of my meal at Pasta Basta, which used to be under Rabbanut, and now it is under Hashgacha Prati.
What's that?
There's a thing
See, I
about
don't even
doing
know,
private
Divine
hechshers.
providence.
Yeah, no. No,
That sums up
yeah,
Israel kosher.
it was a private
very
hechshers. We
confusing.
have them in America all the time.
We were in.
You have to do your own research.
Yeah, you have to do your own research.
We went to Herbert Samuel in
Yeah, this is a
Herzliya.
great story
It's in the
about
Ritz-Carlton.
kashrus.
Beautiful restaurant. And they have
Beautiful
Rabbanut.
hotel.
Beautiful hotel. They have Rabbanut of Herzliya, which most people probably wouldn't assume is a very good hechsher. But we actually sat with the mashgiach for about a half hour. Shem Tov, really nice guy. He's there for anyone that wants him. And he'll answer all your questions. And we were actually so impressed by the level of hashgacha. It's probably higher than most of the restaurants here. They have a separate grill and separate prep station just for the fish in the meat section. They have a special floor just for checking vegetables. All the shmita
Right.
stuff is lechumra. They don't have any heter mechira. So the only issue that they really have was that some of the meat wasn't glatt, although most of it is. And
Right.
if you call before and you request it, you could get glatt meat. So it's like really, wherever you go, you really got to check it out, and you've got to be.
Yeah,
knows?
everybody's got to ask their own rabbi. I am not preaching. I'm not, where are you at Yori? I am from, you are from. We're all just doing our own
Exactly.
bit, and no one's judging but
Exactly,
Hashem.
yeah.
So long as you do your own stuff, that's good. That's good with me. It's a little bit more complicated in Israel. So let's talk
let's
about
do the
what we're going to
recipe.
make. Let's eat, Shifra.
Totally.
I'm
We always
hungry.
have to eat when we
We
come
always
here.
have to
yeah,
eat.
It's always
People see me, they always like, I always want to eat when I see you because you're always posting food.
So we're going to make sabich. Sabich is a classic Israeli sandwich. I think of it almost like a falafel sandwich, but instead of falafel, you put eggs inside.
Excellent.
And the eggs that we're using are really cool. It's called 5,000-year-old eggs.
Oh, a
And it's,
5,000-year-old egg. Mm.
It's because it looks old, but it's not really 5,000 years old. I cooked it overnight in black tea.
in black tea.
And what's really cool, I didn't do it, but if you crack the shell in the middle of the night, the egg becomes like scaly. So it's really, really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it has like a very cool
How
effect.
do you cook it overnight? You have to buy Joy of
So-
Kosher to see the recipe.
Well, the recipe is in Joy of Kosher magazine. I could give your listeners
a preview.
sneak peek. Yeah.
Yeah.
You put your oven on 200 and in an oven-proof container or maybe a 9x13. You cover the eggs in water. You put 1 or 2 black tea bags in.
And
In the
you-
morning, it's ready.
Can
It's
you do
very
that
cool.
for Shabbat?
Yeah, it's great for Shabbos. It's great for Pesach. It's fun because it's eggs. So,
That's cute.
Yeah. So that is the main ingredient in the sabach sandwich.
Okay, great.
So basically, we slice open the pizza. We put hummus.
Okay.
And we have some
We're actually doing
fresh
it now.
vegetables.
When Shifra and I were planning the show yesterday, we actually got a. She said, "Make sure you bring, fresh pita." And I sent my daughter Simi to Gourmet Glatt, This is actually I did not announce.
Yes.
This is our What's for Dinner segment.
Oh, okay.
Sponsored by our friends at Gourmet Glatt. I always try to give a recipe, and they everything I bought is from
Yeah,
Gourmet
you could
Glatt.
get Amba there. They have really
Yeah.
cool ingredients.
Okay, I know. I love the fact that they have like umber now and
Yeah.
giant things of hummus is my new ketchup. I eat it with like everything. Okay, so what are we doing?
So fill the pizza first with hummus. That's going to be
Okay,
the
so-
flavor base.
Okay, I got the
Um,
sabra hummus. Okay, I happen to like the hummus. I used to make my own hummus all the time, and I'm like, yeah, it's not worth the effort anymore because it's so cheap and easy to make your own.
Easy to buy.
Easy to buy.
Right.
So I'm like, I stopped. Okay,
Okay, then we'll put some Israeli vegetables. You can also add pickles, herbs, whatever you
so
want.
I'm putting
to
in some sliced
tomatoes and cucumbers.
Oh, this is really. Oh, this smells good already. It's
Yeah,
just hummus.
so good.
Hummus and tomatoes. Okay, now what?
Okay,
I'll do some cubes.
Yeah, then we'll put in the eggs,
You
sort
know-
of like you would put in the falafel balls.
Okay.
And in the shuk, I don't know if you saw, the really cool falafel stands had these.
Yes,
eggs.
I did
you
see them.
notice the
No.
brown eggs?
Yes, yes. I
So they're
did.
not organic. It's this style.
Okay. All
It's
right,
cooked
because
this way.
organic eggs are brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll put in some eggs.
Okay.
I already sliced them.
Okay. Thank you, Shifra.
So it doesn't really even turn so brown. It's like this pale caramel color.
Yeah, I'm
almost,
going to
the
just
egg.
hold a bit of the egg up with the yolk.
So you could see what it looks like.
And you see that the yolk has got, I don't know if you can get that in. I'll hold the whole plate. The yolk is got a little bit of a green rim. That means it's been cooked for a long time. Okay.
You can
Whoops.
use regular boiled eggs though.
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
This is just making it more classic.
Now this is my eggplant, right?
Yeah, some fried eggplant goes in.
Now I just want to say that this was roasted. I roasted this, so it shouldn't be as fattening.
And it tastes
I made a
pretty
bit of a-
much the same like frying it.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool. Roasting vegetables are amazing.
I do salt and olive oil on a parchment paper.
What temperature did
400.
you do? Okay.
Okay, I've made
And
a
the
great-
secret to roasting is using
taking
the
the top
flat
off.
pan.
Yeah, flat pan. Spread
Yeah, don't put
out.
it in a 9x13 with a high rim.
Yeah,
low
so,
rim pan.
so it steams.
Yeah.
So it doesn't steam it.
and then you
roasts.
put some amba, and if you want, we don't have today, but if you want, you can also put some tahina.
Okay, yeah, I didn't bring.
But that's
tomato.
that's an additional step that you can
Oh
put.
my god, is this too much? You only want a little bit of umber, unless you like it a lot. Oh my, I've made such a mess of my sandwich
That's
because,
fine.
you know,
It's today it's gonna be a knife and fork sandwich.
it's going to be a knife and fork sandwich. Oh my god, this looks amazing.
So yum.
I've actually done this for Shabbat as a platter.
I was just gonna mention it. It's a
Yeah.
great idea.
It's a great idea. So you just put down a whole bunch of eggplant and then some eggs on top and then tomatoes and umber on
Yeah.
top and people
It's
can serve it
really
like
good for
a layered
Shabbos.
dip. So I do that a lot.
And a good party platter.
I just want everybody to know that I washed before Shifra came on to the show.
Yes.
RCK ran out to make sure that I could eat.
Oh, the amba smells so
it
good.
smells so good,
Mm,
right? And it
it's
lasts
delicious.
forever.
Yeah, it's like a vinegar style.
Okay, so
It's
I'm
really, really
I'm just
cool.
going to show everyone.
So good.
I'm licking my fingers. Oh my god, this is divine.
It's really, really good. And also the issue is coming out for Purim, so we already have a lot of people ordering the issue for Shalchmanis baskets because it's like Israeli theme. So we have shuls and schools ordered it, and it's just a really exciting thing to give to your friends as well because it's something that people can use as a guide while Nomi eats.
Well, you talk, I chill.
I'm gonna pass it around.
Everyone should take a little bit. We've got to get some napkins. This is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time here. Shlomi and Shifra, thank you so much for coming in. Make
you.
sure you follow Joy of Kosher Magazine on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and you buy the actual magazine. Because if you are anything of a food lover and an Israeli Mediterranean cuisine Israel lover, this is the issue that you must pick up. When does it come out?
The week of February.
Well, there's not much left of February, guys.
So the last week of February, yeah.
Is that like...
But you can order it on the website, joyofkosher.com/magazine.
Comes out next Friday.
Next Friday.
Next Friday. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad we got that out. Okay, excellent. Guys, thank you so much for
fun
coming.
to be here.
Thanks for my feast.
Yeah.
You going to take some?
Of course, of
Okay.
course.
All right, cool. All right. We need to get in our next guests from Can you ask them to come in, Shlomi? I have an incredible lineup. It's all about food with me all the time, and this is definitely an eating show. And next week's going to be an eating show. I just want to mention I'm going to have the team from Royal Wines is going to be joining us to talk about KFWE and to try some wines. as well as we're going to be having Sruli Edelman from Izzy's in Crown Heights. So I can't wait to have them on the show next week. This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Siegel Network. Our show is sponsored by Natural and Kosher Cheeses, when quality and flavour matter. This has been a very exciting show. Shifra is just, and Shlomi are packing up all their stuff. Got a whole lot of stuff going on here. I'm just going to clean up a little bit. I'm very lucky to... you're taking the eggs. Oh, Shifra's cleaning up. You know, I can clean up too. Take it. What? No, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. No, I'm gonna leave all this here because we're gonna make a big mess now again. Okay, Shlomi and Shifra, thanks guys. We'll see you back on the ranch. Okay, friends, listeners, Nachum Siegel Network listeners and people who are listening on our app and watching on our YouTube channel. This is a very exciting show. Hopefully they're all exciting to everyone. For me, they're always exciting, especially when I have restaurants in the house. We had Shifra Klein just made me this incredible sandwich. We're going to have to give you some soon. But it was, right now we're going to be having Sharona Ben-Sur. She's the owner, the actual owner of the restaurant. I love when women own restaurants. Is joining us. They have actually, oh my God, they have brought in a feast for us. This is incredible. Sharona and her husband own the Olive Tree in Brooklyn, New York. You must make this your destination restaurant for milchiks. I went there. Sharona actually found me on Instagram, which was really cute.
Yeah, I did.
And she reached out to me. Do you need a headset? Is she okay, ZK? She's good. And she said, would you and your husband like to come for dinner? And we went down there and we had an incredible meal with them. And we sat and we schmoozed and we ate. The presentation is gorgeous. Taste, the portion control, the ambiance. We were about to leave to Israel a few days later. I promised I'd be in touch as soon as I got back. So I did good, right?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. All right, you guys are welcome to stay. Okay, you guys, have you all met? Do you guys know?
I did, yeah.
Shifra and Shlomi, and okay. And not only are we lucky to have the owner, I have chef, the executive chef from the restaurant joining us here today, and he's going to explain the whole food that we have. Welcome, Chef Christian. What's your last name? Gerardo. I never know how to pronounce it. My Australian accent kills everything, so should hear me try with a French. I can say roux, and that's about it. Okay, so when did you start the restaurant? How many months ago?
About 3 months ago, actually.
Only 3 months ago. Right into the microphone. We're going to talk right into
right over here. Okay.
And did you have a restaurant background?
We did actually. We're partners in Cafe Paris.
In Borough Park?
In Borough Park, yeah.
Very nice.
We were there for a few years, and then, we wanted to go on our own with our chef Christian and to open up our own restaurant with our own ideas, with our own creativity. And that's what happened. We opened up Olive Tree.
It's great. Was there an existing kosher restaurant there already? Or you had to go in and kosher it and make it all,
No, it was T42 before. And we took over. So everything was ready for us to take over.
Wonderful.
Just some designing, some decoration. And we were all, ready to go in and start our creativity with Christian Huardo.
Okay. Christian, let's talk a little bit about you. What's your background?
Well, my background is from Florida. I've been working hotels before. I work overseas too in hotels. And... I went to Johnson Wales University, a culinary school there.
Johnson and Wales?
Yes, Johnson
that's
Wales.
Very famous.
Yeah, and you learn your basics, but then my experience came from different hotels that I worked before and everything. So, I'm trying to bring everything to the kosher restaurants to see people try my new dishes that I do every day, and specials.
Well, it's fantastic. If you are watching on our Nachum Siegel Net channel, you will see. And make sure you watch. We got to try to get some pictures of these to post on our own site. Can we get some pictures, maybe, ZK? Okay, great. He'll take care of that. He's the best. Because I would like everyone to see the beautiful presentation. I like, there's color, there's style, there's height. And, of course, we're going to try some of these foods. So it's a dairy restaurant. So I just want to, let everyone know that. This is not parv or fleishik. this is what I call the real deal, butter and cream, right? Let's talk about the use of Jews and margarine, right? Right? What's up with that? Right? I don't even it's butter. If you can make it, okay, we have Shabbat and we cannot use butter after Shabbat lunch because we've had a fleishik lunch.
Yeah.
But I try to make things that do not involve anything with margarine. And if I'm going to, I use it for a dairy meal. And I do make dessert during the week with butter because we have to have it with butter.
That's where it is.
Butter is better. Okay, so tell me what everything is.
Well, the first one we have is
I'm going to try.
a steak portobello salad with spinach, and it has a citrus dressing.
Okay, oh, yum. Okay, I'm going to try this. Keep talking.
And then we have southwestern egg roll that is stuffed with tuna and salmon. It has watercress, and it has a reduction of port wine. And then the next one that we have is an Asian salad. You know, it has mixed greens, carrots. It has dates. It has all Asian medley vegetables there. And then I have an Asian dressing.
Okay.
And then this one is something I really love. It's a tuna cake.
Oh my! It's made with fresh tuna.
Yeah, it's made with fresh tuna. It has a remoulade and it has like a mango sauce on top. It has a little touch to it, so it could give them those little flavors with sweet and hot.
Oh, I like that.
So I
like
hope you guys love it. And then the last one is a vanilla flank dessert.
You had me at flan.
And this one reminds me of my grandma because this is something that she gave it to me, and I always say, I'm going to do it.
Let's pass that up. We're going to start with dessert. Bring it up. Bring it up. Okay. My mum also makes flan, but she's, Australian and Ashkenazic and, has her own flavours into it. Okay, let's try this. So it's much firmer than I thought it was going to be, right?
Yes, because it's something from the family that we do.
Oh, my God. Okay, you have to talk while I eat. This is amazing. It's more cake-like than I would have thought.
Yes, we usually my grandma does like that, a little more condensed than the regular ones.
Shlomi, he cannot leave because he has to try this. Shlomi, it's amazing. It's really different. My mum's flan is like more jiggly and like a pudding.
Yeah.
I like the consistency on that a lot. Delicious. Okay. We're going to keep trying.
More folks over here.
Okay. Now, I know that you were talking when we were there at the restaurant about the lunch specials. And while you talk, of course, I'm going to eat. I'm going to grab this roll. I'm going to eat one. I'm going to send one down for Shlomi. Okay. Okay? Yeah. Come on. You're here in the studio. Have fun. Okay. So you were going to do some specials.
We're doing lunch special actually right now. We're doing lunch special for $12. So you get a combination of whichever you want. You can take a soup, you can take a sandwich, a large portion of, we have variety of food that you can mix and match for $12 only.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Because you can't get a good lunch for such a good price.
No, it's amazing choices that you have on our lunch special. But what I wanted to mention over here, Naomi, that we're doing, olive cheese based, the name is Fusion. So I want people to know that for the first time, you never had a Mexican dish in a dairy restaurant. You always have Mexican dish made with meat and chicken.
Right.
And Christian came up with the idea that we're going to have Mexican dish with dairy ideas. And we're doing that as part of our menu. We introduce Mexican dishes into our menu, Asian dishes into our menu that you don't find in any other dairy kosher restaurants. And actually, Christian came up with the idea that he wants to do one day of Mexican buffet. All kinds of, a variety of Mexican dishes for one day, all you can eat on
I would
Sunday.
Love that.
Right?
And how can people find out about this? As I tuck into this, here, let's have a look at this. We're going to open this up. Can we see that on the camera, ZK? I've opened up the tuna. What's this, Christian?
This is like a tuna cake. It has remoulade and it has like a mango salsa.
Okay, I'm going to just
and
try that.
It's a little spicy, you gotta mix all together so you see those flavors coming into you.
I want all the components together. That's the way you have to eat something. Right? All the everything on the
So you give all the flavors together.
That's great. Yeah, that's wasabi.
It has a little bit touch on top, so you can give all those flavors, yeah.
Okay, so it's a lot about fusion. We were saying that you wanted to do this special day of Mexican kosher.
So we're planning to do on February 28th, Sunday. One
Okay.
day we do all kinds of Mexican dishes that you never had before from Christian's country.
Now, what kind of things can we expect? What do they eat it?
Well, like I'm trying to do like a buffet Mexican style, you know, and I want to add like some let's say Mexican lasagna. We're gonna have stuffed peppers. We're gonna have chilaquiles. We're gonna have how can I say? We're gonna have tomatillo with fish, tomatillo sauce with fish.
I just had tomatillo sauce for the first time. It's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make it. You have to like
come.
grill it. Would you teach me?
Of course, no
With
problem.
my pleasure.
I have more. No. Okay, bye guys.
So we have
Klein-
like make flautas. You know, we're trying to
What's
make
a flauta?
a flauta is a corn tortilla that you stuff it, and then you could stuff it with cheese, beans, avocado, with fish, whatever you feel like
Okay.
stuffing it. And then you roll it, and then you deep fry it, so it will be nice and crunchy. And you just put it on the plate, and then you put any kind of sauce you want: the tomatillo, pico de gallo, guacamole, sour cream. It depends on your creation that you want to do that day.
Is Mexican food traditionally? Because I've heard different thoughts. That's the way to put it. Is it like mainly a meat and cheese, or fish and cheese, or just like what's the? Do you know what I'm asking?
The
Like,
non-kosher version
non-kosher
is
version, like because we
Yeah.
do everything crazy with kosher.
Yeah.
Do they do something like what's typical? I think Katsuji Tanabe once told me that they don't put cheese in tacos.
Yeah. Well, it depends, because usually like each state of Mexico has different kind of. They do the same name, but they've got their own unique tacos. You know, and now they're mixing a Tex-Mex with Mexican food. So that you know what Tex-Mex is, right? It's like
No.
it's a Mexican born in United States, so they call them Chicanos. So what they do, they mix it all together with their nature, and let's say Texas and California, they're all Chicanos. So they're trying to right now it's a mixture of everything in the Mexican
Chicano is
food.
someone who's from Mexico,
Like they were
born
born-
in Texas.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah, you call that Chicano. Like let's say if I'm from Mexico and my kids are born in the United States, they call them Chicanos. So they got their unique dishes, Mexican, but they fuse it with Mexican dishes. So, you know, like they have the fish tostadas that they do different in Tex-Mex. In Mexico, they do it different. So they're trying to fuse it together so it will be more interesting and more fun.
So interesting, right? Like I had no idea that you can mix it up like that.
Yeah.
Where did you get where did your influences come from for your plating? Like you're artistic. You're very artistic. Were you always artistic?
Yes, well,
Could you paint as a kid?
I used to, but all my life I've been living in Florida, and you know, and I work with great chefs, and you know, and I like to learn all the time, you know, from people that really try to teach you. So, you know, usually in school you just learn the basics, but then when you really start working in hotels and country clubs, that's when you really get the good experience.
Okay, so here's what's your favorite thing to cook and eat? Like I love all crazy food, but I happen to love meatballs. There you go.
Yeah.
Secret's out. Is there something you just love to just simple, easy?
For me, I should say fish. I like play with fish, you know. Especially, I love ceviche. It's like something.
Me too. We were just talking about with Shifra and Shlomi. I love ceviche. Did I have
You
it?
have
at
to
your
try. He came with a new version of ceviche. You have to try that, Naomi.
Did I have that in the restaurant one night when
in
we
the glass
came?
you had it, right?
Yeah.
Now he changed it on a plate,
Oh my
and he
god.
changed it totally to a different, spicy, and you have to try
You
that.
hear ceviche thrown out all the time. Can you explain what ceviche is? We were just talking about it, with Shifra and Shlomi about in their Joy of Kosher edition of Israel. They had an Israeli version. What's your version? I mean, what is ceviche?
Ceviche is a cured fish that you marinated with lime, and you let it sit there for like 18 hours so it could get cooked with juice. But usually each country has their own unique version of ceviche. Like Mexico has their own. Ecuador, my country, has their own. But the original ceviche comes from Peru.
Peru, right.
Yes.
You always see Peruvian.
Yeah. So from there, a lot of people be trying to do different. It's like the one that we have from in all the streets of fusion with sea bass. It has salmon, it has grouper, and it has salmon caviar. You
Ooh,
know,
yum.
so we trying to, I try to upgrade everything to a new level, so people will try our new experience in kosher food, and that's the goal that we have.
You know, I like that. When I come to a restaurant, I want to go on a trip as well, meaning like a taste trip. You know, I don't want to just eat. As you know, when I go to an American restaurant, that's a burger, that's fries, it's just good comfort food. But sometimes you want to go on a little
Adventure.
adventure. You don't have to go to Peru. You can just come and eat ceviche in Brooklyn and eat some of Christian's food at the Olive Tree.
Yeah, you have also other one, Anafre. That's
Yeah, well, not phrase is from Central America. That's what I learned when I worked at Barcelona Beach Resort for 4 years. I thought it was very interesting, and I think people will love it. So I said, my idea, like I said, is to bring to Olive Tree dishes from all the countries, little by little, to introduce them, and that's our goal. So people know other dishes from other countries.
Are you going to have something Australian? I think we should have something Australian.
would love to do.
Do you know what that is?
I will surprise you one day.
Alrighty, a Vegemite sandwich. That sounds good. You know what's Australian that people don't realise? Pavlova.
Oh yeah?
Pavlova is an Australian dish.
What is that?
Do you know what pavlova is?
No, but maybe I know it for another name. But
Okay, so it's like a big meringue cake, and on top is whipped cream and like strawberries and passion fruit. So it's like a very traditional Australian dessert. It was created by the chefs when the dancer Anna Pavlova from the Russian ballet came to dance in Australia at the turn of the last century. So they created this dish in her honour. Peach Melba is also Australian. I don't know if you know what that is, but there you go.
We would love to have the recipes.
Yeah.
Okay, I've actually got one on my blog, theaussiegourmet.com. There's pavlova on that.
That's what I'm thinking right now, that you never stop learning. And
Right? You never
in the
stop
culinary, you
learning.
never stop learning. And something new for me. So I'm like,
Right,
Darren,
yeah.
what's going on?
We're gonna have pavlova. Your cheesecake was out of this world. If you go onto my Instagram, the Naomi Nachman, you will see how many likes I got on that cheesecake picture. It was a small mini round cheesecake, and the spoon was chocolate, which I thought was so cute and adorable. And it was plated beautifully, but the taste was amazing. I love cheesecake.
Does an amazing job with that, yeah. And we have other desserts that we came up with. I don't know if you saw our posting on Olive Tree, New York. We have a peanut butter dessert right now, mousse cake, everything new line of dessert that we just came up with, homemade desserts. So people should follow us on Olive Tree, New York.
On Instagram.
Instagram and also Facebook.
Oh,
You're
you're
going to
on
see
both.
all our postings over there. Every day, chef special desserts you're going to find over there. We try to be creative on a daily basis, change and be more exciting, more adventurous.
This is music to my ears. Music. I just find that some of the restaurants, and everybody works really hard. I know what goes in behind the restaurant. I'm friends with a lot of chefs, and I've got to know a lot of chefs. I know there's a lot of work that goes behind it. So much work. I know when I create dinner and dinner parties and stuff for a small crowd, you guys are doing it on an ongoing basis, day in and day out. And the fact that you're changing it up on a daily basis, we're not hearing that enough. I find some of the restaurants get a little bit stale. They need to up the ante. We need a little bit more change. And this is what there's the whole, the food groups and the people that have become so passionate about buying the food, and the customers and the consumers. And then again, there's all the ingredients that are now available. Have you seen a big change? I don't know, Kushni, how long have you been in kosher for?
I've been in kosher, I should say, 2 years.
2 years. Have you seen in the last 2 years a big change?
Yes, I did. There's a lot of competition, and that's the reason you have to be creating day by day different kind of dishes, so you could be on the same level with everybody else.
On the cutting edge. But yeah, it's definitely a lot going on in the kosher food scene right now.
Ingredients that we never had kosher, we find
Right.
it kosher right now.
Like-
Many things that I could not find kosher before. I'm finding Chalav Israel, Pat Israel. I never saw that in my life. Now we
Right.
have it in
Now
the
we have
market.
it, right.
So it makes it easier for our chef to make those exciting dishes for our customers.
You know what's
yeah.
really exciting? I got in Gourmet Glut, the fish sauce. Have you seen that? The kosher fish sauce. That's out like literally 5 minutes.
Yeah, it makes life much easier for you,
It-
definitely.
It's fantastic. You never had those flavors in kosher before, so now it gets to elevate. It's OU fish, so you can't use it in a meat stir fry. But what do they call that? It's called fish sauce, but isn't it called something else?
I mean,
Nampla or something?
what,
You know that kosher fish sauce? Red Boat makes it. It just came out kosher.
I don't think he ever saw it.
I have.
Are
I
you
have.
familiar with that?
I don't. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay,
like-
that's how new it is. It's like
Yeah.
literally like right off the shelves.
He makes everything on his own, so he doesn't buy anything ready from
You
the...
you talking about like some kind of
Yeah.
stock of fish?
Yeah.
Because usually when you do that, you just gotta do like a stock like mirpo, and then you take all the flavors from the fish. I don't know if that's the one that you're talking
No,
about.
it's a bottled sauce. It almost looks like soya sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's, I don't know, they call it fish sauce by Redboat. Okay,
So we have to...
something else to look out for.
Yeah.
ZK, we're having a good time eating our way through this show. ZK is so happy. He loves when we have food. And remember, ZK, remember next week it's Fleischig. We're going to be having Sruli on the show. He's giving me the big nod.
He looks
yeah,
excited.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm very excited to have you guys here and to talk and to shout you guys from the rooftops. You've done an incredible job. How do people find you? The phone number, you want to give the restaurant phone
Of
number a
course.
shout out?
So yeah, it's 718-975-3211. That's the Olive Tree contact number. You want the address also?
Oh, they'll call for the
The
address.
coach.
But I just want to say it is in the heart, it's in Flatbush.
Flatbush,
It's
yeah.
on
Nostrand
on
and Kings
Nos-
Highway.
yeah, there you go. Notion and Kings Highway. It's
Nice.
actually yes, ZK. It's in your hood, man. It's in your hood.
Right next to Marine Park.
Right next to
Yeah,
Marine
very
Park.
close,
It's good.
yeah.
You got a few good restaurants. You know what I feel like? And I know I'm in Manhattan now. I feel like the food scene has kind of left Manhattan and it's gone to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's in here, we're going to take a picture while we're
Uh-huh.
still on air. I don't know if that's going to still work. I don't know if I'm still in it. But I feel like the cool, trendy, amazing food scene is in
100%.
Brooklyn.
We got a very good competition in Brooklyn area. I have very few good restaurants that are in competition together, trying to come up with
But
creative.
it's good.
Yeah,
It's
which is
a
very
good thing.
good.
Competition is good.
It gives you more motivation to try more things,
Yeah.
more ideas. 100%. I feel bad for Christian every day. Christian, more ideas, more creativity. Let's go.
And he's doing it.
Give
He's
me
doing
something
it.
new.
He's doing it.
Actually, we're gonna start a new menu hopefully next week, and we're gonna have a mix of everything. We're gonna have Mexican dishes. We're gonna have Asian dishes, and it's gonna be a lot of fun because everybody's gonna try different kind of dishes from Mexico, from Asia. So it's gonna be fun. So anybody should come and try it, and you're gonna see there's gonna be something different from other dairy restaurants.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, guys. So I think someone from my family is going to be coming down this Sunday. I'll talk to you at the end of the show. We'll make some reservations right here in the Nachum Siegel Network studio, right here on the Lower East Side. This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Siegel Network. Our show is also heard on Arutz Sheva English Radio. Okay, what a big show we had today. We had Brian Greiker talking with me about the chop competition that I'm going to do in Mills. I cannot wait. If you're in Chicago, come down this Monday night, 8 p.m. Make sure you call Mills Barbecue for the Perplexed. We also had Shifra and Shlomi Klein, who made a delicious edition. I'm going to call it a delicious edition of Joy of Kosher. And we made some delicious sabich sandwich here, which we made a bit of a mess, but so delicious. We don't really care. And ZK and I are going to eat that afterwards. And of course, I had the incredible Sharona and Christian down here from the Olive Tree in Brooklyn. What a fun show. We've eaten a lot. And we're going to continue eating. We've got pictures of all our images. We're going to put that up on our Facebook and our Instagram pages to share the love and to see what we do right here in the studio on our show. We eat, right? We eat a lot. Okay, make sure everyone goes to gilliesgoodies.com to order their Mishloach Manot baskets. I know I've already done mine, and you know who is listening to the show right now from Israel that you will be getting a little surprise from the Nachmans. So when you do order your fresh baked goods and the baked goods and the hamantaschen and you can ask for gluten-free, and they have all the top line hechshers there. They also send to their chayalim in Israel. So I think that's really a beautiful and important thing to do, is to support our chayalim and give them some love from America and to thank them for what they do standing on the borders so we can go to Israel and eat our way through Israel. And thank you very much, David Ehrlich from Gillies Goodies, for giving a 10% discount to Table for Two listeners. Just make sure when you check out, you put in the code table number 4 number 2 and you'll get your 10% off. All right, everyone, we're going to have a great show next week. As I mentioned before, Sruli Edelman from Izzy's Barbecue. And we're going to have the team from KFWE here talking about the event, which is just A week or so away. 2 weeks away? Getting very close. Okay, cool. Have a great Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Stay warm.